So my favorite part of 2019, there's been a couple. One was hiring my assistant, Ryan, full-time assistant here locally in Spokane. For me, it's helped me learn how to delegate responsibility, which is something that I really wanted to get better on as a business owner. Letting go control for something that is so important to me, like TBM, and it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, was really hard for me. But having Ryan has freed up a lot of my personal time. I'm no longer working until 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm actually able to sleep in some days past 5 o'clock. And she's just been a huge blessing. One of the biggest hurdles I had to tackle when I left my full-time job was how lonely it can be being an entrepreneur and owning your own business and working from home. You go from an office full of people to all of a sudden just being alone 24/7. And having Ryan with me every day has kept my spirits up. It gives me someone to collaborate with and ask questions and get new ideas and fresh eyes on things. There is a 10-year age difference between Ryan and I. She's just finishing college, where I graduated college 10 years ago. But it's great because it allows me to see my business and my budgeting method in a new way. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I felt about this 10 years ago. It brings up a lot of feelings for me to watch her go through this process, and having her involved with the business has been wonderful. And then of course, building the warehouse and bringing distribution in-house for the Budget Mom has also been really big. There were some other big moments, like, being offered an official book deal and getting that on the road and getting that going, and then also having the opportunity to possibly have a TV show dedicated to helping people with their financial lives was a huge opportunity for us in 2019. So those were just some of the biggest ones. My New Year's resolution for 2020, I have so many. My first one for me is I want to start working out again 4 days a week. We got really, really busy after the Budget by Paycheck launch in October, and I haven't been back to the gym since, to be honest. I haven't ran, I haven't been to CrossFit, I haven't even been into the regular gym, but I also seen the effects it's had on me. I started running to combat some of the spending triggers that I had in my life, but also it was a stress reliever for me. And so I want to incorporate being active, whether it be CrossFit or running, at least 4 days a week. It's a New Year's resolution for me. Another thing that I want to work on is making my son's college educational account more of a priority. So I just recently increased his savings contributions into that account, hoping to make and keeping me motivated to make that more of a priority in 2020. I think really when it comes down to the business, I want to work on efficiency. So it's about getting more work done without working harder. That's kind of my saying in the new year when it comes for my business. I really want to be able to get the warehouse set up and have it run really efficiently without me always having to be there. I started the Budget Mom really, and part of my goal with the Budget Mom was so I could be and spend more time with my son. It's why I didn't want to go to a day job anymore. But recently I found myself actually working more than I was at my full-time job. So I want to be able to step back a little bit from more of the day-to-day operational activities for the Budget Mom and really spend more time with my family and the people I love and my son. So those are a couple of goals that we have for the Budget Mom. The number one goal I'm always hoping my readers to discover and to really want to tackle is awareness. I want my readers to not just know where their dollars are going, but to understand why they are going there. Tracking your expenses is huge, but it's so much deeper than that. Your spending is telling you something. It's in a level of awareness where it's not just on a piece of paper. I want my readers to get to that place. The next goal I want my readers to accomplish is having a realistic, successful budget in their lives. I feel like you can't tackle debt, you can't save as much money as you possibly could without having that budget in place. It's essential. So that's the next goal. And then really, I would love for them to be able to not necessarily hit their biggest financial goal, but at least have a roadmap and an action plan in place on how they're going to get there. Really, I think it's a matter of stepping back and honestly asking yourself, what is the most important thing to you? For a lot of people, it's an internal struggle, because all along on their financial journeys, they've been doing things because that's what they're reading that they're supposed to be doing. It's what they're being told to do. And so it's an internal struggle where it's like, well, I really don't want to work on that, or that's really not important to me. This is what's important to my family. So it's establishing what your financial goals are. I think that's the first step for my readers. But then it's figuring out, okay, once I have this financial goal, what are the stepping stones or the steps I need to take on to get there? A lot of people say, I want to save for a new home. The first step in that process is paying off and eliminating debt so you have more money to throw at such a huge goal of saving for a home. So there's baby steps along the way that you need to accomplish, but I think once they get to that point and they see those steps on a piece of paper, all of a sudden their journeys become really exciting because they know exactly what they have to do. And I think that's where it can get kind of frustrating in the financial process in your journey, is kind of like, okay, I know what I want to do, but I don't really know what step to take and how to get there. I think the first thing they need to think about is where they're at right now. Where in their lives are they right now? So maybe you are single and you don't have any dependents, and your number one priority is you're feeling like you want to travel more. Or you could be a mom with 3 kids, a single mom living off one income. Maybe you're a husband who has a wife and 5 little kids. So it really depends, looking at your life right now where you are. Then I want you to close your eyes and I want you to envision your future in 5 years. And then think about it in 10 years. Not just your future, but the future you want to have, the future that you envision for yourself, the future you think you deserve. From there, it's going to become very, very clear to you what your financial goals are, or at least what you're wanting to tackle and what you want to accomplish. If you know where you are now and where you want to go, it becomes very clear the things that are either there in the future or no longer there in the future, and it's a matter of how do you get rid of them or how do you add them to your life.